guys, it's Nick here, working from my basement, trying to keep my family safe and healthy. I hope your family is safe and healthy. I hope you guys are navigating this new landscape that we're in. I hope you're figuring out how to have everybody at home all the time, and definitely a challenge. And so one thing we're trying to do as a church is how do we continue to drive engagement and connection? The landscape is totally different. I would love to be with you guys, give you a fist bump, ask about your day, connect with you face to face. But right now, we just can't do that. And so like last week, this week we've put together a little video teaching with some help from some of our high school students. But this week you're going to get two. You're going to get one. This will be coming to you on Tuesday. It'll be 30 to 45 minutes, a short video for you guys to engage with, to pause the video, to ask some questions. Take as long as you want to, and dialogue about that. That is one option for you to do that with your family. Another option is for you to do this with some students, with some other students. If you want to hop on FaceTime or Skype or Zoom, just to connect with them. On Thursday, we'll be sending out a follow-up to this. It will not have the video included, but it will be just a continuation of the video that you're seeing here on Tuesday. So two checkpoints that we want families to connect or peers to connect. Next week I'm going to be on the road, but we are going to try using Zoom to have a Wednesday night Bible class with all of our middle school and high school students. So in the few days coming up, I'll be sending out a link for all the students to sign up for Zoom. I know many students are already using that for school. But we'd love to have all the middle school, high school students in one room, sort of, and to spend some time seeing each other's face, asking questions. And so we're just trying our best to figure out as a church, how do we do church without being in the same room? So I'd like to say thank you to the guys that helped this week put this video together. They put an incredible amount of time. They had a lot of fun with it. But at the end of the day, what we really hope is that you can connect with your family, that you can connect with a friend, and that you will be blessed. So enough of me. I'm going to turn it over to these guys. I hope you have a blessed Tuesday or whenever you watch this. We love you guys. Hang in there. Be strong. And we'll be back soon enough. Thanks.
Hey guys, welcome. We hope you're all doing well. We really appreciate everyone tuning in and watching us last week, and thanks again for watching us this week. Today we just want to work through the video series called After You.
While that's important, it's also important that we are practicing safety measures to help protect us from the coronavirus and help to slow the spread. So all we ask is that you continue to follow the rules and regulations set in place to help stop that. Things like washing your hands, avoiding places with more than 10 people, and things like social distancing. We just thank you guys so much for your help with that. Today, Cory, I believe we have a guest star coming.
Whoa! Oh man.
Hey there, Caleb.
Hey guys, your work last week really inspired me. I just had to come join.
Oh, thanks for being here today.
Hey man, we're so glad to have you here
I
today.
think that is so cool that you can join us today and
dude,
really talk to us.
We're
Hey,
so
Andrew,
flattered.
Andrew, I'm trying to talk.
Hey, I don't care.
Hey, Andrew, listen to me. So I think...
Listen, I don't care what you think. I was talking to Caleb.
Andrew, first of all,
No,
this
no,
is
just
my
stop
show.
talking. No,
this
it's
is
not.
my show.
Hey guys,
I like you.
Guys, this is what happens when you put yourself first. I get it, you guys were joking, but this kind of me first attitude really hurts the people that need it the most, that need help the most.
And I think one of those groups that is suffering big time right now is the elderly, especially in this season. And some ways we can help them out and show them attention is maybe buy them groceries, making sure they have enough toilet paper, things like that.
Yeah, and I think it's also huge to acknowledge and pay attention to the people that their jobs are to stock grocery stores and the people that are working in the food industry, and just pay attention to their needs, because a lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people that need the money are not getting it anymore. And I think there's multiple ways that we can help move into that and invest into those people in ways monetarily, whether that's when you go and you order DoorDash and somebody is asking for a tip, you give them 30% instead of 20%. But there's also ways that you can show appreciation to help keep them going, like the people that are stocking shelves. You could say, hey, thank you so much. We really needed what you're doing. And I don't think that they get enough recognition for that, and now is a perfect time to do that.
I'd agree with that. Also, loneliness is going to be a continuing problem as we go through this shutdown. So if you would remember to text the people that sometimes you don't even talk to that much, that would really help with loneliness, and we can all become connected and hopefully be a little better off.
So now we're going to go ahead and lead you into a little video, which is talking about not living a me first life, but a
After you life.
Oh, what's up, y'all? I'm watching this clip on Instagram of this kid getting crossed up. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh man, and then he get crossed up, he goes from the left and the right. Let's watch it again. Wow. Ah, this is funny. It's hilarious, bro. Crazy video, right? Yeah. But did you see Big Bird in the back playing 2 guitars? Yeah, he was right there. You didn't even see it. You know why you didn't see it? Because you were not paying attention. Happens to me all the time. Sometimes I cannot tell where my keys are at. Mama! Mama, where my keys at? Mama! Mama, where my keys at? You holding them in your hand. Oh. Also, I hate how into myself I am. You know, I live in my neighborhood and I'm never even thinking about the homeless people around me. I live in LA. Homeless people are everywhere and I just glide past them like I'm in my own iPhone commercial. And that's the point that we're talking about today, guys. All the stuff that we fail to notice. And I'm like the worst at this. One time when I was in 6th grade, I was like pretending to be a British clown in my social studies class, because, you know, middle school. I was really loud while my teacher was teaching. Everybody else had stopped talking, she stopped talking, and everybody was turned at me, and I'm still doing the British clown voice. But I said, Mama, I want some more clown makeup. I don't know, it was awkward, it was weird, it was the mid-90s, who cares? Another time I was at homecoming and this girl started dancing on this guy, and all the other boys started taking pictures, and I didn't stop them. Then Monday morning comes along and all the pictures are posted on the lockers all around school. The guilt river ran heavy that day because I didn't do anything to stop them when I could have. What would happen if we like took our eyes off ourselves for just like a second to see that other people have needs? Because other people have needs like for real. Like for real. I bet you there's a guy in one of your classes that you think, wow, he's got everything together. Truth is, his life is falling apart. His parents are getting a divorce. It's a hot mess. Inside and out. Or maybe there's a super quiet girl that you see at lunch every day that sits alone and you think hates people, but truthfully, she actually would love it if you came up and said hi to her, because, you know, she's lonely. Or maybe there's a group of kids that you know that are always like super positive and outgoing. It seems like they're always getting like super amazingly good grades. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that we have a geometry quiz today. Didn't you study over the weekend? I had so much fun studying for this algebra test as well. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But inside, they're actually anxious and terrified that somebody's gonna find out one day how anxious and scared and lonely they actually are. Real people, real problems. You and I fail to notice all the time. I like burgers. I live in LA, so I eat In-N-Out. A lot of y'all live in the Northeast, so you eat Shake Shack. Maybe you from Texas and you eat the trash known as Whataburger. Listen, you do you, I don't judge. Burger is a burger, that's it. Bun, patties, cheese, burger. But now, if one of those burger joints could cure cancer, well, that'd be a heck of a burger joint now, wouldn't it? I bring that up to say, listen, Jesus wasn't the only religious teacher of his day. There were lots of religious teachers. The difference is, he healed and cared about those in need and taught his disciples to do the same. To take care of the sick, the lonely, the oppressed. Give me that scripture though. Jesus feeds the 5,000. The apostles returned to Jesus and told him all that they had done and taught. And he said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a desolate place and rest for a while." For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure to even eat. And they went away in a boat to a desolate place by themselves. See, Jesus sent his disciples out on a short-term mission trip. They went out on foot and went wherever God told them to go and wherever they were accepted. When they got back, the disciples told Jesus everything that had happened and all that they had done. It was a busy and exhausting trip for all of them. Jesus meets the needs of his disciples and goes with them to get away. People find out. So in verse 33 and 34, now many saw them going and recognized them, and they ran there on foot from all the towns and got there ahead of them. When he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion on them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd. And he began to teach them many things. So they're on their way to go get some rest, and Jesus meets the needs of the crowd that is following them. That's the example that we're meant to follow. In verse 35 through 37, and when it grew late, his disciples came to him and said, "This is a desolate place, and the hour is now late. Send them away to go into the surrounding countryside and villages and buy themselves something to eat." But he answered them, "You give them something to eat." And he said to them, "Shall we go and buy 200 denarii worth of bread and give it to them to eat?" Look, I don't know what the attitudes of the disciples were like in this passage. Maybe they were just exhausted and wanted the crowds of people to just go away. Who knows? I don't know. But maybe they were doing exactly what Jesus taught them to do. Notice needs. And they did. They noticed when the crowds were hungry. And Jesus just doesn't ask them to notice a need. He asked them to do something about it. And we need to be reminded of that constantly. Yo, it's easier to live a me first kind of life. Teacher, why you gotta be talking so much? I don't wanna be here with no algebra. What I need to know what 3x times y is. I'm tired, got a headache. Can I go home, please? Jesus never once lived a me first kind of life. He always lived an after you kind of life. The Apostle Paul, a dude that came onto the scene after Jesus rose from the dead, he also devoted his life to spreading the message of Jesus Christ. Paul had this to say about living an after you type of life. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others. Check it out. So that's pretty plain, okay? The Apostle Paul lays it out right there. You could be all about yourself, 100. You could care about nobody else, never caring past yourself. But guess what? Jesus is asking us to live so much greater than that. It's not just about stop being selfish, but how about we start thinking about let's start being selfless. The camera on the front of my phone here is for FaceTime, for video conferencing. When it was first introduced as an invention, that's what it was made for. But soon after that, we as Americans discovered this thing called selfies. Turns out the front camera on your phone isn't made for selfies. It's made for us to connect to one another, not to take pictures of ourselves. But I'm not throwing shade on selfies. Like you like taking selfies, you do you. I'm not throwing shade on you. Oh my gosh, why are you so mean to people who like taking selfies? No, I'm not. That's not me. I'm just saying that's not what it was made for. Okay, I'm about to challenge you to something now. Get your phones, open up Instagram, and I want you to take a story with somebody in your group right now and post it together, both of you guys together. Go and do that right now. 30 seconds on the clock. Hope you had fun with that. It was only 30 seconds. I know that could be kind of tough, but you know, if you didn't get it, try to do some more after this video. 3 takeaways. Write this down. Easy ways that you can start to live selflessly and notice other people's needs. Number 1, Look. Look up from your phone or whatever distracts you from noticing the needs of other people. When you're in a position to be around other people, whether that's physically or digitally, notice them. Affirm their existence. Notice them in the hallways. Notice them at lunch. Notice them on Instagram. Notice them and affirm them. That's one of the biggest needs that we have as human beings, that someone would just notice and validate our existence. Hey, you look really nice today. I really like your shoes. I really like your hair. And notice them as God has noticed them. Number 2, discover. Ask them questions and then really listen to the answer. Think about what life must be like to be them. Think about what needs they haven't expressed that they must be having. Number 3, do. Once you've truly seen someone and discovered their needs, then do something about them. That's what Jesus is calling us to do, to not just see needs, but do something about them. Listen, guys, I'm hoping as you think about these things and go through these things, you start to look a little bit more like Jesus. His life was all about living a generous, compassionate, selfless, after you type of life. And if you're willing to live an after you type of life, not only are you gonna see the lives of people around you change, but your life will change as well.
Welcome back, guys. I hope you got something good out of that video. And I'd like to go ahead and turn it over and ask both of you, what is something you got out of it?
Thank you. I think it was really interesting how easy it is to put ourselves first. It's very easy to notice someone that needs help, they're just sitting alone or something. But it's very difficult to actually go do something about that. So I think if we work on that, we can make the world a better place.
I would agree with you, Caleb. I also found that interesting. Another thing I found interesting was the way that he connected a terrible attitude towards school, like I have a headache, like why are we at school? Why is this teacher still talking? I mean, I myself feel that. I think it was amazing how he connected that to a me first attitude, because I think a lot of people don't realize that is a root in one of those problems. I also found it interesting the scripture from Mark, feeding the 5,000, how he connected that to Jesus and the disciples noticing the needs of the people, rather than Jesus and the disciples wanting to do something in order to convince the followers to continue to follow him and to believe in him.
And I think that's really interesting that a story that we've heard for so long can be looked at through whole new lenses and get a whole new meaning from it. Also, I'd like to go and ask everyone here, have you ever failed to notice something obvious in everyday life? An example of this would be like in the video when he's talking about having the keys right in front of him, but he still can't find them. Go ahead and you're going to take a minute to pause, think it through with yourself and with the people around you, and go and get back with us.
Welcome back, everyone. So we're going to go ahead and tell you what we thought about that question. So Cory and Caleb, would you guys like to take it away?
So one time in 3rd grade, I was getting dressed for school just like any other day, and I just completely thought everything was normal. But at lunch, someone turns behind me and taps on my shoulder and says, "Dude, your pants are inside out." And I looked down and the tag was showing, and my pants were inside out. And that was something that is so obvious, so simple, but yet I still completely didn't notice it.
All right, Caleb, what would you have to say about this?
Yeah, for me, mine's not that intense, but just through our online homework portal for school, I just missed one of the assignments, and it was a big point grade, and I just missed it, and I didn't do it. And it was obvious, and I just didn't see it for some reason.
Well, guys, those are two very unfortunate events.
Yeah.
So this kind of leads us into our next question. So this is a little more serious. So it's similar to our last question. So what are some examples of when you fail to notice something important that can cause danger in the lives of other people?
Welcome back, guys. I'd like to go ahead and ask you, Caleb, when is the time that not noticing something obvious put you in danger or other people?
So I'm in Boy Scouts, and we were camping once, and so we had this table that we use for Dutch oven cooking, which has hot coals on it. and I was moving a table around it, and I didn't make sure my path was clear before I started moving it. So I knocked over the table and almost burned the adult cooking on it, and it was really bad, and I should have took notice of it.
Andrew, what about you?
Well, Cory, you know that I'm not the smartest.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about that today. So I was fishing with a friend once, and I was teaching him how to fish, and so teaching him how to cast with a spinning reel. And he rears back and casts and puts a hook right through my backpack. And the rod flexed and got knocked out of his hands, and the hook was inches away from my skin.
So now I'd like to go and ask everyone at home, when is the time that you didn't notice someone else's needs, and what resulted because of it? Go and take the time to pause and think this through yourselves.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you had good discussion and dialogue at home. I would like to bring this question back to us on the panel. Caleb, would you like to start us?
Of course. Something I think that I missed is sometimes my parents are working on something, and they say they got it, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I won't help. But they obviously could use some help, and I just don't help them. I just go on my way.
That's good input. Cory?
For me, it'd probably be when I walked into church one time and I want to talk to my friends, and I just completely was oblivious to the new kids in the corner who didn't have anyone to talk to. Okay, Andrew?
Thanks for asking. I think this happens a lot to me personally, as I'll be having a friendly conversation with someone, and, hey, how's your day? Oh, good, good. Well, a lot of the times people will start to drop hints that, something might not be right. And a lot of the times I don't pick up on those. Like, a lot of the times, well, not to stereotype, but girls will say, I'm fine. So to me, being a simple-minded guy, I think, hey, that means they're doing good, the world's fine for them. But in reality, it's not. It's not. And they're trying to drop hints to me and red flags for me to dig deeper and say, hey, what's wrong? And that's not just girls that do that. I mean, guys do that too. And they a lot of times try to conceal feelings, but they'll try to reach out in subtle ways to try to say, hey, there's something wrong here. And a lot of the times I miss out on that. So I think for me, that's one of those things that I could do better at. Now, I'm going to bring it back with another question, and I'll provide an example of my own. So what were the consequences and when you didn't notice that? So personally for me, in my situation, nothing really happens to me. I go about my life thinking that everything's fine and that person's doing well, when in reality, they kind of feel rejected or ignored, that I didn't respond to those cues that they left for me, and they have to continue suffering and keeping that on the inside when they were trying to get it out. So, with that being said, Caleb, would you like to give your example?
Yeah, sure. With me, just like not helping my parents when they say they don't need it, like they just don't have the help they need. They take a little bit longer. In the end, they're okay. But it could have been a lot faster. They could have, had some time to sit down and relax or something, or do something else. But there's no repercussions for me, really. I just keep doing whatever I was doing.
Cory?
For me, it's kind of the same. Is that nothing happens to me. I may even be better off because I get to talk with my friends. But those kids go home thinking less of us, and they're also very lonely and just leave with overall negative feelings. Please join us Thursday. We're going to keep working through this video and even have some more discussion questions.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Make sure to tune in Thursday. We just ask that you give us some feedback. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like. We want to thank Caleb for being here today.
Yes, thanks. You provided a lot of interesting dialogue and things to think about.
Oh, no problem. Glad I could help.
With that being said, I'm Andrew. This is Caleb and Cory, signing off.
Adios.
Is that good?
I forgot what came after that.
Okay, redo it.
Redo it! Andrew! So,
I'm so sorry.
What is wrong?
No, just quick though. Caleb.
What did you just say?
welcome back, everyone.
Okay, now you're just messing around. What about you, Andrew?
Thanks for asking. You're breathing so hard! But Sorry.
IPA.
Oh yeah.
Go on,
He
Dylan.
turns around and goes, bringing it. Sorry. I didn't know I was supposed to talk.
Bom, bom.